Nikola Jokic has been making highlight reel passes since entering the NBA in 2014, adding to his list on a nightly basis. Let's take a look back at some of the best passes the Serbian big man has dished to date. Number 10, behind the back against the Grizzlies. Jokic, who has a knack for finding his teammates unguarded under the basket, delivered one of the highlight plays of the 2015-16 NBA season. Midway through the third quarter in a game against the Grizzlies, Jokic took a pass from Emmanuel Mudiay on a pick and roll and drove to the basket. He was met at the rim by Zach Randolph, who forced a contested shot for the Nuggets big man that missed wide right of the basket. Unfazed, Jokic grabbed his own miss and began to dribble out of the paint back towards the perimeter. Suddenly, he whipped a right-handed bounce pass behind his back to Kenneth Faried on the other side of the rim, who easily laid it in. Oohs and ahs filled the Pepsi Center as Nuggets fans went crazy, with Faried himself dancing down the court and giving his teammate a high five for the insane pass he just made. Number 9, NUTMEG pass against the Blazers in the 2019 Western Conference Semifinals. Jokic has always been down to make the big plays when it matters most, and this momentum-altering assist was no exception. The Nuggets star had a mind-boggling play against the Blazers in a Western Conference Semifinals game back in 2019. With the Nuggets down 13 midways through the third quarter and in desperate need of a boost on offense, Jokic took a pass from Malik Beasley on the perimeter, looking to turn and drive towards the basket. As Jokic dribbled the ball towards the paint, Blazers forward Al-Farouq Aminu shifted over to cut off Jokic, who swiftly paused and bounced a perfect pass in between Aminu's legs to teammate Paul Millsap for the and-one dunk. This play ignited the Pepsi Center and sparked the Nuggets' run, becoming one of the most iconic moments of the 2019 NBA playoffs as well. While the Blazers would go on to win the series in 7 games, Jokic will always be remembered for this insane pass between the Blazer forward's legs. Number 8, over-the-head pass against the Lakers. While Nikola Jokic has been making insane passes look routine since entering the league, even he was a bit surprised at this one. In a 2017 regular season game against the Lakers, Jokic grabbed what seemed to be a routine offensive rebound off a Jamal Murray miss. As Murray and a few other Nuggets ran back the other way, Jokic faced a triple team from several Lakers players. He collected himself, turned his pivot foot away from the basket to protect the ball, and saw a cutting Will Barton coming towards the basket out of the corner of his eye. Without hesitation, Jokic put the ball over his head and launched a backwards pass over his head to a cutting Barton, who finished the play with a powerful jam. Jokic bounced down the court, jumping up and down in excitement after crafting yet another highlight-worthy pass. Number 7, game-winning assist against the Thunder. Back in 2018, the Thunder and Nuggets were all tied up in a Western Conference battle with 1.4 seconds left to go. Paul George had just hit the tying three-pointer, so it was up to Jokic to create some magic with one final possession in regulation. Jokic, who had already achieved a triple-double, took the ball out near mid-court on the inbounds pass, scanning the floor for options. As the Nuggets ran their play, Jokic was being smothered by Thunder big man Steven Adams. Despite this, Jokic calmly faked a one-handed pass to Jamal Murray, which got Steven Adams to jump. As Adams was in the air, Jokic saw Gary Harris cutting towards the far side of the court, preparing for a wide-open catch-and-shoot behind the three-point line. Despite Steven Adams' large frame impeding Jokic's vision, he calmly sidestepped Adams and sidearmed a one-handed pass that hit Harris perfectly in the hands, who turned and sank a game-winning shot as the buzzer sounded. Harris sprinted off the court to the locker room as the Pepsi Center erupted, while Jokic stood amidst the chaos, smiling as if this was a routine play to him. Fortunately, this is something we've become accustomed to seeing from Jokic, who seemingly creates something out of nothing when it matters most. Number 6, NFL full-court pass against the Clippers. In a 2019 game against the Clippers, Jokic showed why he's more than just a talented big man with an elite ability to score and pass. With 8 minutes left in the third, Jokic grabbed the routine rebound, turned his body, and without any hesitation, launched a one-handed bomb all the way to the other side of the court. Amazingly, the ball dropped right in front of teammate Jamal Murray, who was running perfectly in stride towards the other basket, catching the laser and rising up for a slam dunk. What made this pass particularly amazing was the fact that Jokic looked like an NFL quarterback sitting in the pocket, ready to dime up his teammate. How many guys in the league can make a full-court pass on point with a single moment of hesitation, let alone one-handed? Yet this is routine for the Serbian big man. Maybe Jokic's comparison to Tom Brady by teammate Paul Millsap isn't as far-fetched as we think. Number 5, behind-the-back dime against the Pelicans. Jokic seems to have an innate ability to set up his teammates for wide-open baskets regardless of where he is on the court and what direction he's facing. Back in 2019 against the Pelicans, Nikola Jokic had yet another highlight reel pass in a long list. Early in the game, Jokic took a bounce pass from Jamal Murray in the post, facing away from the basket. As Jokic was being defended at the top of the post, teammate Paul Millsap made a sharp cut along the baseline, allowing for a sliver of an opening for the Nuggets big to fit the ball into. Anticipating this move even before Millsap, Jokic flipped a casual bounce pass behind his back, leading his teammate perfectly for a left-handed finish at the rim. As crazy as the pass itself was, the casual manner with which Jokic made it was even more astonishing, demonstrating the creativity the Serbian big incorporates into his game on a nightly basis. What do you guys think is Jokic's best pass in his current arsenal? Let us know your thoughts in the comments section below. Number 4. One-handed alley-oop setup against the Pacers. Jokic has redefined what it means to be a big man in today's league. With his elite floor vision and ability to make highlight-level passes look effortless on a nightly basis. This was no exception in a 2017 game against the Pacers, where the Serbian big threw a ridiculous alley-oop to teammate Kenneth Faried. Grabbing an air ball from under the basket of teammate Jameer Nelson, Jokic retained possession and dribbled to the left of the floor. As he went away from the basket, he turned his head just enough to see Kenneth Faried cutting down the lane unguarded. With the ball in his right hand, Jokic sauced the pass across his body, perfectly into the air where Faried caught it and threw down a thunderous dunk, much to the crowd's delight. What made this play so absurd is how fast Jokic went from dribbling the ball along the baseline to the ball flying through the air right into his teammates' hands. This play was yet another example of the Joker's elite awareness and floor vision on the court. Number 3. No-look bounce pass against the Hawks. Just as an NFL quarterback throws passes into the tightest windows, Jokic does the same on the court. In a 2017 game against the Hawks, Jokic showed off his pinpoint accuracy by dropping a dime on a fast break that almost no one saw coming. The Nuggets big started off the play by grabbing a defensive rebound, then proceeded to dribble the ball to midcourt. Directing the offense in the process, as he crossed half court, Jokic saw teammate Gary Harris to his left with a slight edge on his defender. Crossing over half court, Jokic turned his head towards his other teammate, faking several defenders out by thinking he was going to pass to the other teammate. As soon as the Hawks players hesitated, Jokic threw a no-look, pinpoint bounce pass into a tight window that set up Harris for a driving dunk at the basket. He displayed NFL-level accuracy on this one, especially considering that Jokic was looking the other way when he delivered the pass. Number 2. Over-the-shoulder flip pass against the Kings. Perhaps Jokic's most famous pass is the over-the-shoulder flip to set up his teammate for a basket. This was evident in a game against the Kings, where Jokic received a pass in the post from Nuggets guard Jamal Murray. Jokic took 2 dribbles while backing down in the post, then nodded his head at Murray, signaling for him to do a backdoor cut into the lane. As Murray flew past Jokic to the basket, the Joker flipped a no-look pass behind his head to the cutting Murray, placing it perfectly behind the defender's outstretched arms and into his teammate's hands for the bucket. What makes this play unbelievable is Jokic's casual flick of his wrist when flipping the ball behind his head to his teammate, directing an absolutely perfect time to Murray for the layup. Number 1. One-handed bounce pass against the Timberwolves. As rare as it is to see a 7-footer take the ball up the court like a guard, it's even more rare to see one directing the offense the way Jokic does. In a 2019 contest against the Timberwolves, Jokic showed off his playmaking abilities with arguably the pass of the year to teammate Gary Harris. As Jokic brought the ball up past half court, he picked up his dribble and held the ball above his head one-handed, faking a pass in the process. His teammate Harris made a cut around Jokic, slashing towards the basket with a defender draped on his back. With only a sliver of space and a fraction of a second to do so, Jokic dropped a one-handed bounce pass where only Harris could get it and make the contact finish at the basket. Following the play, Harris couldn't help but smile in amazement at his teammate, who makes the craziest passes look as normal as can be on a nightly basis. Which one of these plays do you think was the best from the Joker? Are there any that we missed? Let us know in the comments section below. And don't forget to leave a like on the video and subscribe for more NBA content.